Welcome to Two Gents, where two seasoned gents take on the hard truths of life, success, and responsibility. In a world where the rules don't bend for us, these gents believe in doing the work, owning the struggle, and inspiring others to take action. So, pull up a chair.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Two Gents Podcast. I got out here again today. I guess there's always something out there in the news that's taking place that we can make a comment on or that we can do something about and probably do a little bit of research and pass it on to the people that really want to hear about it. And that's the reason why we get on this air. We don't get on here to build numbers and all the rest. It would be nice, trust me. But we get on here to try to inform you so you can get information and pass it on. And I'd like to open this up today because one of the things I'd like to say is that I was going a whole different way with this show. But when I say a whole different way, I'll let you know a little bit later on where I was going because it's a lot of things that's going on in California. And a lot of people don't understand maybe the reason why that's happening. California has a unique perspective, almost like Texas. They're one of them states that border Mexico too. And the difference in California is that, if I remember correctly, I know it ain't changed because the infrastructure is still the same. You can drive the train from the border all the way back up to Los Angeles, or at least to San Diego that I know of. And when I was over there, one of the things that caught my eye was, and I said this even when we was on Blog Talk Radio, because I had taken 2 trips, I think, over to San Diego during that time, and I always wanted to say that homelessness was those guys in San Diego when I was there, their homeless population was friendly. They was yes sir, no sir, sir, can I get a quarter, sir, can I get some money from you, sir, do you have any change that you can spare? I was like, this, coming from Texas and Houston, that's a different type homeless population there, because they treated everybody with respect. But what I understood later was that they could really get arrested in California if they're homeless and they're on the streets because they had them out for a certain amount of time, especially in San Diego. I'm not talking about all of California, but it's just one of those things that you have to take in accountability with the protests and everything going on within California. That's kind of where my mind was going. You hear a lot about it in the media, but it's and I asked a question. Maybe I shouldn't even ask the question, but do you think that some of the protests that's in California is because you have people that don't have a place to stay? They're in a position where they're exploding. I mean, you got the governor trying to do his best to reduce homelessness. I'm sure the mayor of Los Angeles doing her best to reduce homelessness. And that's been an initiative up until this event. And it's a lot, and I don't want to tie all these protesters because I remember when Black Lives was going on, they had protesters just jumping the protests, and they were doing stuff that most of the Black Lives Matters people wasn't even a part of, or blacks wasn't a part of. It was some people that was coming from out of town and all the rest of that. But see, the uniqueness about California is that they got people that are homeless, displaced. They're trying to replace them. So that kind of mixes together with the protests that's going on. Because if you look at the pictures of California and what you see, unless they did a miraculous recovery within the last week or two, homeless people in the street. And what really, another thing that got me thinking about this was I saw a picture last night on a major news station. I'm gonna add it to the stage. Not see, I can't do it. Come on, Ron. Okay, I saw a picture last night on a major news station, And this is what kind of took me the other direction. I saw a freeway like this, and it was somebody standing about close to that other ramp that you're looking at in the middle. And they took the biggest rock and they threw it they was throwing it at cars as they went by. And the first thing that came to my mind, if that's the case, I'm looking at this homeless people here. Homeless people here. But before I go there, I just want I want to clarify, but I want to give you my initial response to the reason why I wanted to do this video today. And that was the reason why, because I seen somebody just stand up and throwing rocks at cars as they pass. And I was like, man, this show looked familiar. And I just don't want I want to tag the right people in this, because I think that too many times when we say protest, it's something else that's going on within this city, and homelessness is a part of it. And the protesters are out there, and they I'm not saying that they don't have a right to protest. They got all the rights in the world to protest, but it's a big factor going on that most people are not covering in the media. You know, homelessness in California is probably the place where it's more homeless than probably anywhere else in the United States. I think that they make up majority of the population, because you can go anywhere else. I mean, even here in Houston, you don't have the temperatures, you don't have the weather, you don't have anything that will make a person stay homeless, because that heat here is different than that heat in California. And then California cools off at night, so it's a total different. Here in Houston, when it gets hot, it's gonna be hot that night too. So it's a whole different animal out there. So as I started researching this and looking into it further, yeah, part of it is that they don't have a place for homeless people. And they realized this, and they started to work on it, because everything in California is expensive. Everything got a tax. Everybody's taxed on something within California. I think they have the highest tax rate that's out there. And you can't, most of the people are, that are homeless, if you look at this picture, they're downtown. They're on the streets. I've seen places in California where they start parking RVs like they had a little small RV community right on a major street. So if you're out there protesting, it's a possibility that you pulling in some of this. But that's all a part of the economy. That's I mean, sometimes you tax people out of a position, but then I want to say that it's a lot of people move to California to live out their dreams. They come there with the hopes of saying, I'm the next best singer, music player, dancer, and all the rest of that. And they get to California and they realize for every one of them, it's probably 100 more people that had that same idea, that they was just going to come to California and make something of themselves. But then they realized that the place where they came from, they could make a living. They might have been at the top of their game in wherever they came from, but they could make a living. In California, it's expensive for everybody. If you go to work in California, and it's because of the way the system is set up. And it doesn't have anything to do with the current people that's in place. The mayor doesn't have anything to do with it. Right now, that was something that they was given. The governor didn't have anything to do with what the position that he was put in. This just happened. I mean, it's almost like as I look at a piece of dynamite with a string on it, that the fire's already started. I think they used to have a show that it was like that. The initial show showed the fuse burning, and it just kept on burning. Well, this fuse has been out there; it's been burning. So this combination of what's happening right now, it's a bigger problem going on. And I'm gonna try to get this up here. See, there's very few places where you would go and you see people dressed with almost no clothes on during the day. It's almost like they're on the beach. This is like beach to them, because they're out there and they're trying to survive. But You know, in most cities that you go to, you see the minorities out there. And one thing that I can say about California, it's equal opportunity out there. Because there's a lot of people out there that don't have my skin color or not brown or any other color that's homeless. And that's something that the governor and mayor was dealing with. As you go through this, you're gonna see some things that maybe it's different problems, but I think that you should give them opportunity to deal with what's in their streets because they've been trying. And the only thing that this other thing did was add to it. It added to it. You got a bunch of people out there. You're fighting a battle. You're fighting Congress. You're doing this, and that was the state that I'm gonna say it, Kamala Harris came from. It's just a big powder keg, and it just exploded. So you know that people out there suffering, but it's the reason why, and it doesn't have anything to do with the current establishment. They inherit what they're dealing with, and we have to give them credit for trying to fight it. And maybe they didn't take the approach that everybody wanted them to take. Maybe they didn't enforce it. But if you're dealing with a homeless population and you've been dealing with it for a while, maybe you're more capable of handling the situation, even if it escalated and maybe it wasn't them. But they don't see. I got to go here because one thing about politics, everybody wants to be put into a positive light. And this homeless problem doesn't put the governor or mayor into a positive light in any kind of way because now you brought in the national media, you got the National Guard coming in, and it's making you look like you can't deal with what's already there. And we want to get it. I just like to inform people because it's more to it than what you see in the media that's going on. It's some problems that they're dealing with. I mean, taxation is just one of them in Los Angeles and California, period. Some of the taxes that they put on their citizens to try to make it, it's going to lead to this. It's going to lead to this. So we're going to get on a little bit further in this video, and it's a couple of points that I'm going to make, but I want to put this up so you can see it too.
1,399 people in California were experiencing homelessness, according to the latest numbers from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. That's a sharp increase from 2024, when the homeless population was 381,399, a troubling 34% jump in just 1 year. This rise highlights some of the deep-rooted social and economic challenges the state is facing.
The real reason why I'm showing you this video is to show you that those homeless people on the side of the road, they're in the streets, they're showing you all this protesting that's going on in California. And they said that they cleaned up a lot of homeless encampment, but you're gonna learn later on that they just go from one place to another place. And if they protesting in the streets, these people are probably getting out there and being involved.
To put it in perspective, California is home to just about 12% of the U.S. population, but it accounts for a staggering 30% of the nation's homeless. That gives the state one of the highest per capita homelessness rates in the country.
In most other cities, you see them, they have homeless encampments. I know here in Houston, they kind of they would used to get out up under the freeway, and they would camp under the freeway right before downtown, and then they had them at one time that was right up the street from St. Joseph's Hospital. But this particular, as you look in California, I done seen a lot of this in California where they just on the side of the road. They in major cities. Now I can say if they did the same job that they did in Hollywood for that little short strip of Beverly Hills, you wouldn't see any of this. But they are protecting citizens up and down that strip. So I don't know how they're keeping them out of there. Maybe they only were able to walk through there and keep moving down one part of it and come back and forth, but they are keeping them out. So I can say that you can see areas in California where it's not like what I'm showing right now, but it's far and few in between. So I just want, and this is the reason why I'm getting out here, because I don't want them to get a bad image. And you know, another thing, it's a man that's in office that don't mind giving people a bad image. Don't mind saying what people are not doing. Don't mind criticizing. And I don't want to criticize. I want to
Tents
show
and
you some of the
makeshift
stuff that's going
shelters
on.
line city streets, parks, and freeway underpasses in San Diego County. Governor Gavin Newsom's new order intends to clear them.
It's time to move with urgency at the local level to clean up these sites, to focus on public health.
And look at that. That's the governor out there trying to clean up the homelessness. This is not a photo op. I don't see no suits. I see blue jeans, tennis shoes, and gloves, and packing a bag of trash. I never see I don't want y'all to get on me, but I never see my governor here in Texas do that. And there's very few governors out there that will do that, that will take the time to do what he's doing right now. So like I say, it's a positive side to this, but he's dealing with a lot of stuff. And tax, I know this show is about taxes, but taxes, when you have high taxes and people don't have a place to stay and the cost of land is so expensive that the city can't even afford to buy it to give homeless people a place to stay, you caught in a bad situation, and you just have to make the best of where you at. And I see him trying to make the best of the cards that he's dealt.
Focus on public safety.
He's calling for state agencies to clear homeless camps and urging cities to do the same. He says there's $3.3 billion in state grant money to support cities.
It's a lot of stuff that we just see the outside of. We don't see the whole picture. So if this guy's dealing with homelessness at this level, and somebody decides to call in the National Guard on him, do you think they gave him a chance? Do you think they just went on, let me just say this, they just went on national media? And when they went on national media, they just saw something on national media, so they acted on it. I'm talking about the White House. Yeah, I'm talking about Donald Trump. Yeah, he just acted on it. But you have to give these people a chance. If you don't think that this man is in it, he's not in it. If you don't think he's involved in it, I'm going to show you something. Just a minute. I'm bringing
Gavin Newsom. Governor, thanks for joining us live on MSNBC.
Good to be with you.
So this is, as I said, the emergency. Joining us live on MSNBC.
Good to be with you.
So this is, as I said, the Emergency Operations Center. I wonder how you would characterize the events that are unfolding in Los Angeles right now. Is it an emergency? Is it, Fox News is calling it the LA riots? Is it a peaceful protest? What's happening and what are you seeing?
Well, I mean, look, Donald Trump has created the conditions you see on your TV tonight. He's exacerbated the conditions. He's, lit the proverbial match. He's putting fuel on this fire ever since he announced he was taking over the National Guard. An illegal act, an immoral act, an unconstitutional act, and we're going to test that theory.
He said a lot of things there, and that's where we you have to give a man a chance. You have to give people a chance. The mayor, they had police. It wasn't like they didn't have police officers out there. It wasn't like he couldn't use his own National Guard to go out there. But then you want to come in and you want to run the operation. You want to have everybody thinking that he's not doing anything. But this particular Democrat is. Now, I told you we call out the good ones. Even the mayor. I mean, if you listen to it, it's nothing that they can do about it. As violent as this has gotten, they're still handling it. They're still on top of it. Give them credit. I give credit where it's due, because we criticize and we talk about people so much that we never come back and clean up where we are at. This man has some real serious issues to deal with, and he's doing the best that he can. And sometimes we just got to step back. Now, if this had went on for about 2 weeks, I would say, yeah, it's something for us to go on. But he's been dealing with a lot of stuff. The mayor has been dealing with a lot of stuff. And I don't know if you're just taking the heat off of yourself. I don't know if you're just taking the heat off yourself or what you're trying to accomplish. But I can see that he's doing something that probably ain't nobody has done. And I'm gonna blow myself back up because this thing is funny, because sometimes you mess with pictures, and I don't want to get off the subject, but sometimes you mess with pictures and then you never get them to come back up. So I was trying to do something. I want to do this. This was a video that the scene was shot before any of this. So Los Angeles was a powder keg. The surrounding communities, surrounding cities that surround Los Angeles was a powder keg before any of the rest of this even came up. So as you go through this, and I hope that my goal is to enlighten you that it was things going on that people were dealing with in California. If you want to send a National Guard to help them, you should contacted them and asked them what they needed before you showed up. You should have contacted them and asked them what they needed before you showed up. And then when you show up, then you think that all of a sudden you can take credit for it. No, you can't. You can't do it. You can't do it this time, because this particular man he's doing the best he can. He's in the command center. He's taking on interviews to let people know that they should change the way that they're doing things. And what more can you ask from a person? But then you want to stick your nose in and come in and say, "Oh, I got this. It's all over." I guarantee you it's not over, because they still talking about what's going on in the media. Yeah, it's kind of your fault, because you stuck your nose in. Now you need to resolve it, and that's what them Democrats should be saying right now. No. He was there. He was handling it. Him and the mayor was doing the best that they could with what they had. But then you want to come in and stick your nose in. This problem is bigger than them. This problem started. If you can't give a person a place to stay, if they can't afford a simple place to stay, because sometimes even here in Houston, you can get a little motel, hotel, or whatever for a little bit of nothing if you got a part-time job or something. But these people, this problem has went on and went on. It was there probably. I'm gonna say it. I know y'all ain't gonna like it. It probably was there when all doing Biden and Harris was in office. That's another thing that got swept under the rug. You want to help him, give him some money to get rid of these homeless people. Then he can identify between the protesters and somebody just join in. Send him some money so he can get rid of this homeless condition. And then he can identify between the protesters and the homeless people that's out there. He's dealing with it. He's doing the best that he can. Give him credit. I'm not going to be on here long. I want to stay on here shorter than what I did. I hope I informed, and that's our goal, is to inform you. I had a great show with Byron. I'm going to put it out. I got some shorts that's coming out. And we like I said, we always out here trying to educate. Tomorrow we'll be on here at 7:30. And we're going to start off talking about this big, beautiful bill. Now, I'm going to say my little bit tomorrow. Pastor Riggins is going to say it's a little bit. And then I don't know. Neither one of us are CPA, but we're going to try to use other people's information to make our points. And I know Pastor Riggins is loaded. I need to call him to remind him about his big, beautiful bill and the stuff that's hidden in it and all the rest of that. So stick with us. Come along on this ride with us. And tomorrow we'll see you at 7:30 Tuesday night. And at the end of the show, we're going to try to do some telephone calls again. If you want to be involved, but you don't want to come on the air, we'll put up the number tomorrow night and try to get you involved in our conversation. I want to say thank you. Well, I'm sorry, I can't do it that way. I want to say thank God, thank God, thank God, thank God. Because if it wasn't for God, we wouldn't have no solutions or answers. He gives us solutions and answers. Gavin Newsom, do the best that you can. Hang in there. You got a little bit of unwanted help, but make the best of it and continue doing your job. To the mayor, continue doing your job and don't get frustrated, because that's all they want. That's all they're waiting for you to do is fail and say that I send the troops in, so I got it done. It's already done. It ain't done. It ain't done. All right, y'all take care. See y'all later. Bye-bye.